Welcome to oniro-with-zyga. Today I would like to try a different format where I'm gonna do this entire take in one go, and it's not gonna be edited or scripted much. So I'm just gonna try to show you something and make it easier for me to produce content like this. So let's get started. Today I would like to show you how to boot a Raspberry Pi 4 with an image you've built. And to do that, you'll have to copy the image onto an SD card, and we're going to use the Raspberry Pi imaging tool for that. Right, let's get started. So I have here a terminal where I've been building the Raspberry Pi image. So I run machine equals Raspberry Pi 4-64, then bitbake, then oniro image base. I've been doing this many times in the last few weeks. And in my other terminal window, I'm deeper into the build directory. So here I was just on the top in the build-linux directory, and here I'm in tmp deploy images and the machine name. And there's a lot of files here that the build system has put, but we're actually after only one file. And this is the root file system image. So the file here is named oniro image base, then the machine name, Raspberry Pi 464, and then a timestamp, and then a rootfs.wic.gz extension. And we're going to take this file and copy it over to my Windows partition into my downloads directory there. So it takes just a second because it's a small file. And then we're going to bring over the Raspberry Pi imaging tool. You can see I've been trying this out a few times already. So many things can fail when you're doing this live. All right, so inside the tool, that's, if you're not familiar with, is actually super easy to use. There's only 3 buttons here that are important. We're going to hit the first one where we can choose the operating system we want to copy. So we can have a selection in Raspberry Pi operating systems, some other general purpose operating systems, interesting media player and emulation tools. A very useful EEPROM update utility. So if you just got a Raspberry Pi that has been in storage for a while, however realistic that is, you really want to upgrade the EEPROM by picking this option and booting the Raspberry Pi with that SD card and just letting it go for a few minutes, and then putting whatever you actually want to use, because this will upgrade the memory that is inside the board itself with the latest version of the quote-unquote BIOS that Raspberry Pi has. So we're going to use custom, and we're going to pick the image that I've just copied. This is my downloads directory in Windows, C users me downloads, and this maps directly into this directory from Linux side. So we're just going to pick that. I'm going to pick the SD card. I have a 64 SD card in my laptop, and hit write. And yeah, this will take a while. So Yocto actually has its own tooling for writing all kinds of disk images into storage media. But this tooling is a little bit more low level. It's difficult or even impossible to use if you're in a Windows for Linux environment like I am. And it's a little bit, more raw, so you can easily make a mistake and destroy your entire system by writing over what you shouldn't have been writing over. The writing tool here is a little bit nicer in my opinion in one more way. Apart from actually writing the image, it's going to go and verify what it has written by just reading it back and comparing. And for me, it has really saved countless times painful debugging where I had an SD card I've been using and it's just degraded. And at some point, some of the blocks just stopped working. So this tool had effectively told me that, hey, this SD card is dead now. You should just get rid of it and get a fresh one. So this will take a while. The image is mostly zeros. It's been compressed. Remember, there's like 100 megs of content and then lots of zeros it has to write. So don't worry about this being stuck. Just leave it open and wait for it to finish. Once the actual writing is finished, you'll have to take your Raspberry Pi here. I have a Raspberry Pi 3, sorry. It's not the same board that you should be using. I just don't have my Raspberry Pi 4 on me right now. It's in a different room where it's busy testing some stuff. And just stick it in downstairs. There's lots of, not downstairs, in this slot here. Oh, sorry, up to the camera. And there's a lot of those tutorials that show you how to put the card in to each type of the board. Some of them have different latching mechanisms. What you want to do later, which I will show you as well in a separate video though, is to take a serial adapter and connect it to these pins up here. Hold on, let me refocus. Yeah, should be better. So these pins, they're well documented as well. I will show you how to do this with my camera aligned differently. We're going to use them to connect and access the board of our serial port connection so that we don't have to worry about networking setup. We can look at the boot process, which is super early on. We can configure and interrupt things. It's going to be really interesting. But for that, we really want to have the serial connection. So we're going to come to that later. So writing is almost over, but I think I will stop the video now. I think you get the idea. What kind of problems you may find when you're doing this on your own? Mostly, I found problems with broken SD cards. I found some really weird problems where those SD cards have this little locking. Hold on, here. Yeah, focus. No. Maybe if I get out of the picture. Almost. All right. So there's like a little writable lock here. So if you've been fiddling the SD card in your fingers and just playing with this and it's in the wrong position, yeah, that will not work. So make sure it's writable. The adapter has the writable switch off. Sorry, on, so you can actually write it. So I think we're verifying now, which is good. But that's it. That's it. It's super easy, and you can actually write all kinds of things this way. You don't need to use a Raspberry Pi build. You can actually build something for a completely different board. Like I have the Seco B68 board here on my desk. I've been working with it lately, and I actually been using the same tool to write a hard drive image onto it. So I will show how this works in another video. I think this video is going to be long enough already, so I'm going to cut now. And in the next one, I'll show you how to wire the SD card and how to wire the serial port. And so hitting pause. Thanks for watching. And yeah, please tell me if this format makes sense to you guys, if you think this is better than the previous videos, or if it's worse, and any other comments you may have. Bye-bye.